Hey guys, we're back at Dragon Slayer this week, and we have a special surprise for you.
All the good ones are
It's
girls.
Bad Player Central here with deck profile presented by Calvin. Calvin, what deck is this
Chick.
that we're going to be seeing today?
Gym Knights. Always Gym Knights.
Alright, so this is the only deck he knows how to play, so we figured. Anyways, let's hop right into the goodness here.
Okay,
Chain.
3 Gym Knight Turtles. Basically because they search out your Gym Knight Fusion. Most people don't run 3 because it's a flip effect, so it's kind of
That was all I
slow.
was worried about. I don't care
But
anymore.
to me, I feel like you have to run 3, and then with DTO 7 or Hidden Arsenal 7, whatever you want to say. Since he's a rock, he's not useless anymore because now you confuse one to make Zirconia.
I was gonna buy that deck and have
3 Gem Knight Alexandrites. When he's normal summon, you can tribute him, spell summon one normal Gem Knight from your deck. Usually I go for Crystal. That's like a good first play turn for me, 24, 50 attack. This is inside the grave because he tributed, so now I have fodder, graveyard fodder for my Gem Knight Fusion to bring it back.
Shrug and get over it.
Right.
But he's iffy. But me personally, this is a pure Gem Knight build, so I run him.
Maestro.
3 Gem Armadillos. This is your search of the
Yeah,
deck.
face down. Yeah, why do I think
Search out any Gem Knight monster. This is probably one of the best cards to me in there. Just for the fact I can get any Gem Knight monster from my deck.
Again,
So to me, this is definitely one of the best cards in
multiple
there.
targets.
You don't know who that is.
3 Lazulis. When this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you get to add 1 normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, sending him with Gem Knight Fusion lets you add a card back to your hand. And that's basically how mine runs, based off of a bunch of hand control fusion spam. So this card here this is also one of the new ones from DTO 7. This is definitely one of the better cards to me.
Really nothing.
Gem Knight Obsidian.
So random decks.
Basically the same thing as Lazuli, but he summons it to the field.
He's so aged.
I really run him. Also, like I said, fusion spam, and because of the 1 card particle fusion. So I'm going to actually explain that card later on. But this is definitely this and Lazuli. To me, no matter what build, must be ran at 3. Then for the normal monsters, 3 Sapphires. Sapphire is really probably the only normal monster in the deck that I actually play because I'll sit him basically for the 2100 defense. And his fusions are okay. Both of them involve bouncing.
No.
It's really if you want to run this card or not. But like I said, pure Gem Knight build, so I run 3. 3 Tourmalines. He's just your average one. Basic attack, basic defense. But yeah, I run 3 of him also. He's basically the normals. The all dark factory targets too. And that's what my deck is, fusion spam. 3 Garnets. Those are your beaters, 1900 attack. Like I said, I don't really summon my normal monsters, so they're just there. But
Not needing at the moment. I'm
these 3 are basically your main. These are your main 3 cards that you use to fuse. Because I think
Check it out.
6 of the fusions are based off of using these cards. So those are my main targets. And last for the normal monsters are 3 crystals.
Anyone here?
I really only run this for a first turn play.
Sorry.
To get him out using Alexandrite, because you can tribute him, bring him out.
Okay, so he has
It's a great first turn play. Other than that, I'm actually thinking about putting this to 1, because the high level is 7. Without Gem Knight Fusion, is basically a dead card that gets stuck in my hand. But until I actually figure out how I'm gonna run him, either at 1 or 3, he's gonna stay at 3 for now. For spells, I run 1 Heavy Storm, basically because this is an aggro deck and I don't like backfield. Oh, and it's
Phase 2, set 1 and pass.
it's 27 monsters total.
I could equip some of my noble arms to make them bigger.
1 Dark Factory. I used to run 2, but early on, if I don't have a lot of normal monsters engraved, it's kind of dead. So I've actually pushed it down to 1, and 1 has been working way better for me. 2 Particle Fusions.
23.
This card here is extra OTK. Basically, you
Set.
send from your field to your graveyard the monsters for
Set pass.
Gymnite Fusion, and you can target one of the monsters and actually increase that monster attack by one of the monsters used. So this is really just used as like an extra push or something to actually catch my opponents off guard.
Effects.
Then the main card of the deck,
Dost thou have the holy hand?
3 Gymnite Fusions.
Nay.
I don't see why anybody would want to run
Yeah, nay.
less than 3. It's
Now what's a nay?
the card to me is just broken. Like
No.
you remove a Gymnite from your graveyard from
Yeah,
play,
back row.
and then you add it back to your hand. And with like Lazuli, Obsidian, stuff like that,
Back row. Bam,
it's
bam.
basically just a constant recycle of cards. So to
just
me,
wanted to go
this,
to
like
the warrior.
I would have to run 3. Now, pulling more than one,
Meaning I can equip.
it can be cloggy and it can also slow you down.
I can't.
But usually with the way mine is built, as long as I pull 1, I can pretty much go for game then.
I can equip him with this guy.
3
Archetype
MST.
here.
Again, because I don't like backfield. My deck is just completely aggro, so I wanna hit backfield. And last, 3 DDR. Definitely one of the best cards in the deck. With Gymnite Fusion, you will remove so many monsters from play. And this is like a free reborn for you. This card, to me, like, with Gymnites, must be ran at 3. It sets up too many plays. It gives you too many extra pushes. It sets me up for, like, well, maybe about 3 different OTKs I know of. But this card, to me, has to be run at 3. It's just basically too good.
Try again.
Let's run through this extra deck pretty quick.
Okay. 2 Aquamarines. I thought about running 1 and taking out 1 on for a Pearl, but when he sent from the field to the graveyard, he bounced 1 card. And since he's a graveyard effect, you know, this could help me get around stuff like skill drain, stuff like that. And then also over monsters that I just can't beat, he can also bounce them. So to me, two seems to work steady for me. 1 Amethyst. He's a giant Trunade. When he leaves the field, he bounces all 6 spell trap cards. So usually, if I'm going 4 game, this is always the first monster I summon, and then I fuse with him to get his effect off. But other than that,
Equip.
1 is really all you need. I've never really had a time where I need to go into
35.
more than 1.
Effect gain 500 life.
So usually 1 is just enough. 1 Topaz. I used to run 2 back in my old build, but 1 with Particle Fusion, it makes this card crazy. He's a Blade Armor / Armory Armor. He gets to attack twice,
Set 1
and you lose your monster's attack. So basically, with Particle Fusion, I can bring out one of the big guys.
Okay.
Zaconia 2900, fuse and make him. He becomes a 4700 attacker that can attack twice. And that's pretty much one of the simplest OTKs
Stand by.
with the deck.
During my draw phase. He goes down back down
3
18.
Prisms.
You know
This
the
is
board
probably
on
one of
that?
my most made fusion cards right here. You can discard 1 Gymnite card to destroy 1 physical card on the field. So basically, when you summon him, I can remove a Gymnite from play,
and you know,
add fusion back to my hand, and then discard fusion for this card's effect. Like he really helps out with a lot of different problems I go through. So definitely three of him. Well, 2 to 3, but for my build 3. 2 Rubies. I did run 3 at
Must have
first,
the holy hand grenade to
but
stop.
since I bumped DDR up to 3, two is only needed. Currently right now, what he does is he can tribute a gem monster on your field to increase his attack by that monster attack. Now the ruling with it is that he gains the attack of the monster while it's on the field. So even with a boost, he still gains that monster effect. So usually it's tribute 1,
35.
DDR him back, then tribute the next one. So now he's already 75. The most I can get him up to is 10,400. Plus he does piercing damage. So that's usually one of my main plays to go for game. But to me, if you're running a DDR, to me 2 is all that you really need. Gem Knight Citrine. Probably the best fusion in the deck. When this card
We've got
is
a correction here. Aaron seems to have interrupted his deck profile. What do you have to say, Aaron?
Nothing.
According to Aaron, you can't bring that out with DDR. I don't know. I haven't read any of this shit.
Well, I mean, it says this monster can only be special summoned by fusion summon from the extra deck.
it was hereditary. That's the original version.
Okay. Well,
Anywho,
Original
Aaron
versions.
can't control his hormones here. Back to the deck profile.
One, it's probably the best fusion in the deck. When he attacks, your opponent cannot activate any card effects. Period. So you don't have to worry about Gores, Trag,
I don't care.
if they run Necrogorn and stuff like that. Mirror Force, all that stuff is just useless. And it's so the deck easily brings out 3 of him.
35?
And then basic mail 22, 44, 66.
Ow.
I can spam the field with 5
A
fusions.
lot.
So once you do 22, 40, this attack is usually always gained. So by then, Trag, Gores, all that stuff doesn't matter. So you can't use Swift Scarecrow, none of that. So this is probably definitely the best fusion in the deck. And last but not least, my big guy, Gem Knight Zirconia. The only reason Gem Turtle is not
But you're
dead,
summoning it on the first attack?
a free 2900 beater. I cannot stress how good it is to run 3 of these. How easily he comes out. I can have Gem Knight Fusion. Let's see.
Yeah, if he's in the grave.
Say I had Gem Knight Fusion in hand, I want to fuse
Also, I pitched this with card structure. I don't care.
those right there. I can
This
fuse
hurt.
these two.
This hurt.
Make Zirconia.
Equip.
Lazuli effect. Add this back to my hand. Gem Knight Fusion effect. Remove this. Add fusion back to my hand. So now I just brought out a 2900 monster basically just by banishing this from play. So to me, it's probably the second best fusion in the deck. So definitely 3 at the minimum of 2, but definitely 3 or 2. And that's the deck.
And that looks like that concludes our deck profile. Thanks for volunteering your precious time. What are your thoughts on Gem Knights as a deck, sort of competitively? How are their matchups? Again, what would you say makes them, not as popular as a deck like Mermills?
Basically for the fact there's no hype around them. Nobody's really just. They had one good top in Japan running a Rescue Rabbit build. I hate that build.
Why do you think that they're not people aren't excited for this? Is it what might be the weakness in this? Maybe
most people say my weakness is not running traps, but I OTK fast enough to where traps aren't really just needed. But I would say the fact that they kind of depend on one card, if I don't pull Gem Knight Fusion, it's really a very hard game to play through. So I would definitely say the fact that it's not a one. It is a one-trick pony, but it's not. So, if you pull Gem Knight Fusion, you have so many. Yeah, you have so many different plays to make. So that's the whole fact. If you pull Gem Knight Fusion, I think that's probably the main thing, because I say with Heva Song coming out, I honestly believe more people will main Curse of the Forbidden Spell. And if I get that Gem Knight Fusion banned, I have no way of actually bringing it back. And that's pretty much
Summon Rabbit?
The win
game.
condition
Yeah,
almost.
so
Right.
I
Well,
feel like that's why.
well, thanks again for your time.
Okay,
Remember,
let's keep
guys,
going.
This is your local Gem
Dwayne?
expert or something. Subscribe, thumbs up,
Special Dwayne?
and leave a comment with what you think of Gem Knights. Do you have different builds? And
I've 11 been out of the
feedback
deck.
on it. All right, thanks, guys.